Welcome to this Twidget tutorial. Today, we're diving into endpoint inputs. First, let's explore the input endpoint. In Twidget, endpoints can have 5 different input types. Query, a key value pair in the URL used to filter or specify data. Header, a key value pair that conveys information about the request. Body, data sent in the request body for more complex input, like JSON. File, allows you to upload a file or multiple files. Path, a bit different from the others as it's a parameter in the path surrounded by curly braces. For our input endpoint, we have created 4 inputs: path, query, header, and body. We've also created a variable, which is an object containing all 4 inputs as fields. To use endpoint inputs within commands, you can reference them by prepending the input name with a $, the input type, and a dot. Additionally, we have an output for this endpoint, which is the previously mentioned variable. Now, let's check out the second endpoint. In this endpoint, we have selected files as the input with an input name of file. This will match the file we'll upload to this endpoint. We don't have any commands because we don't need to do anything with the file. However, we do have an output to return the file input information. You can use the file input like the other inputs by referring to it with a $, file, and a dot before the input name. Next, let's test out the inputs. We've created 2 API client requests. First, let's test the inputs endpoint. We've set the values of the path parameter and added a header called refer. Its value is the Twidget website. We've also added a JSON body to the request. Now, let's add a value for the query parameter. Query parameters are added to the path variable after the question mark. Now, let's click Send. The request was successful, and you can see the parameters variable we created in the endpoint with all of the input values. Lastly, let's test the file endpoint. This endpoint only takes in a file with the file parameter name called file. All we have to do is upload a file into the data input. Next, click Send. The request was successful and returns the information about the file uploaded. To summarize, Twidget endpoints support 5 types of inputs: query, header, body, file, and path. Use these appropriately to ensure your endpoints function as intended. Thanks for watching, and happy Twidgeting!